And it says we're live. Hello, folks.
Good afternoon.
If I disappear, it's because there's a 60-mile-an-hour windstorm going on outside my window there, which may take the power. So, and it just goes poof, and then it'll only be Phil. So much for it. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this passes before. I'm up in Maine and we have a storm. My wife said she's out in Indianapolis or Mincy, and she said that they had a storm yesterday, windstorm. So, and I guess Phil, you said you had some down in Philly.
Well, we had a lot of rain, and now it's the lull before now there's a bunch of wind going to be coming our way.
Oh, well, I'm familiar with the wind.
And they have issued a wind advisory down here in.
Oh, I got a full. It's warning. It's 60. It's you don't want to go out there.
Uh,
You might get hit in the head with something flying by.
right, right.
Okay, we're talking about alternatives to alternative dispute resolution.
Yeah.
We came up with that little pre. Oh, I didn't say hey.
Yes. You folks who have come in, if you'll notice, there's a chat function here. If you haven't used it before, it says chat on your right.
I'll say hello from windy Maine.
And I've already weighed in. So if you'd like, you can say hi, where you're from.
You can indeed, and that's always nice. And anybody over on YouTube, and we do these things. I don't know. We don't get the million views of
No.
some folks, but we do get a few, and put it in there for the record. And alternative dispute resolution is known by a lot of people in workplaces and such. And Phil and I have been around so long, and it's one of those coincidences that long before we met, we were both trained in alternative dispute resolution.
Yep, this is true.
And I used to drive around the state of Oklahoma doing it and also training other people in alternative dispute resolution. So I was even a trainer. So these are familiar to us.
Yep.
And we have colleagues, people who use the matrix that you see there, who are involved in dispute resolution and know that it is much the same as when Phil and I were doing it.
We were just talking with somebody about this morning, and it sounds like it hasn't changed one bit.
One bit, one bit, and our that goes back 4 decades, so quite a while. So we'll offer you an alternative to it, uh, and we've said right along, since we've known that for many years, that if we had had the matrix, as it's called, and in particular the pro-social matrix, uh, our dispute resolution, alternative dispute resolution, would have been completely different, just absolutely completely different. As a matter of fact, I can safely say I would have never used what
There
I taught.
would have been no
What
need to pick it up, right?
No, well, I would not do it that way. Uh, and for one thing, I guess it because it starts on the premise that there's a dispute, uh, and and you start with what the problem is,
Yeah,
what the dispute is.
it starts with it identifies the problem, right?
That identifies the problem, and you start. And most of
Whole
you
problem
here,
solving frame, the usual
right,
way, right?
would do it. And Bill and I, after literal thousands of hours of doing work with people now, you couldn't get us to start there. what we would go, why would we want to start talking about the problem first? That's insane. And it's like, oh my God, Kevin, you sound strong. It's strong because you're setting off everyone's amygdala. Whether you want to admit it or not, humans are animals, and they are animals with very active amygdalas. Probably why we're still here, because it's the part of the brain that does the fight, flight, or flee. I mean, you can argue about if that's the exact part or not. Doesn't matter. We just call it the amygdala. And once you start talking about the problem, people go on the defense. It just happens.
Automatic.
You can't not make it happen. And now you're off on a weird foot. Well, I guess most people would call it a wrong foot. And so now we just don't like to do things hard like that. That's just why try and work out of that position when we didn't have to do that position in the first place. So to get to our point, so our alternative to it is that we do it just like you heard it. We've said it before. Is we usually start with, I have found that the best way to start all of this is for us to discuss who's important to us. You see it? I've got it written down right up there at the top. Who's important to us? I mean, personally, I can tell you right now, my wife's important to me. This is the way I sound. You can ask Phil.
The way I sound, same thing.
This is how I sound. I'm very conversational, and I'm bringing the I'm bringing that to the fore, yeah, instantly.
Conversational tone.
Conversational tone, and 100% of the time, people will talk to me about who's important to them. 100% of the time.
Without fail.
Now, think about the other. If I say, well, what's the problem? If I got 10 people in the room or 2 people or whatever, somebody's not really going to want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
And more than likely, the person who wants to talk about it is sort of the aggressor or something.
Yeah, or the aggrieved.
The aggrieved, and they want to get their pound of flesh or whatever. And of course, that process is going on. We just don't want to start it. It's not that we don't know that's going on. We fully realize that. But
yeah, we get it.
But we also know they're humans and they have people who are important to them. And they will talk about them, and that's where we start. Okay. Now we usually don't do what's our shared purpose. That's the second loop, but Phil put it up there. If you press for time, you could start with that.
Yeah, you could.
We tend to do the more gentle takeoff glide path of starting with who's important and then go over. And so that's the huge difference, folks. Okay, all of you watching on YouTube and going, oh, wow, he got to the point fast. Yes, I did.
That's what you showed up for.
That's what you showed up for, and that's the alternative. So instead of starting with the dispute, the problem, the argument, whatever people that you're doing, I mean, it's fine. They know they showed up for dispute resolution. Fine, that's fine. I just walk into the room and I say, you know what? I have found that the best way to start this process, they're just going to assume it's a dispute resolution process. That's what they're there for.
That's right? What they're geared up for. Yep.
Right. So, but I don't say it. I just say the best way to start the process is with who's important. And I already have the diagram up. And if I don't, I draw it, put it up there, and have it there. And so at that point, we can now gently bring up the stuff that shows up that's yucky, and that goes in the lower left. That's a tip of the hat to the dispute. without directly talking about the dispute. Yucky stuff, you know. And but I start with fear. I know Phil does too.
Yeah.
We say yucky stuff like fear that shows up in the lower left. You got any other stuff that shows up? Maybe somebody says, "Well, I get pissed off." Maybe they'll bring something up. Maybe they will. That's fine. we we go, yeah, heck yeah. That kind of shows up. And then what do you do to try and get relief from that yucky stuff that shows up? I mean, for people who are afraid, they hide. They
Hunker
pull their
down.
hunker down, pull the covers over their head. You know,
Don't show up for work, stuff like
they'll
that.
go up. There's all kinds of people things. They get relief from the 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 fear, the yucky. They get how they get relief from it, and so have a discussion about that, and then finally, back around to what can we do for who's important to us. That's the first loop. I do. We just started a process, and Phil at times will put a loop,
Yeah.
and the loop goes from who's
Starts
important
in the lower right.
through yucky up through relief uh, and over to success. Uh, and the loop represents a process. And so now, a few minutes in, 11 minutes in, or whatever, we can say that the outcome is a process. Nobody's going to win, nobody's going to lose. That's not how, that's not dispute resolution.
Choosing up sides.
Right. That and I take it most of you listening have been in a relationship, significant relationship, boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever, married, living together, whatever. You're in a, whatever, significant other relationship. Okay. And if you get into a win lose battle with that person, well, you're going to, well, Phil put it succinctly this morning. Win lose is called, what did you say?
Oh,
Phil?
divorce.
Divorce. That's what it's called, right?
Separation, divorce.
I mean,
separate ways.
Relationships are a process. Okay, they're just
ongoing.
They're ongoing process. It's not that somebody is not wrong sometimes and somebody's right sometimes. Of course, that happens. But they're not going to say, well, we're going to solve this marriage. I'm going to be right. You're going to be wrong. Whoever's wrong doesn't want to hang around. They don't want to stay.
Who wants that label?
So you're switching from this win, lose, or even getting to yes versus no, which is that's a problem we have with the old getting to yes book, because it has no entail to the yes. That's we understand that's part of it, but that's not the process of finding what works to get us moving again. And that's what you're launching people into. So whether the alternative is and the reason we start with who's important is it's our primer, whatever, for getting the process started. We're going to keep the process going. Now we may then launch into, what's the shared purpose? Marriage is a perfect example. What's the shared purpose of a marriage? A married couple, a significant other couple, whatever, will always tell you. They will know what the shared purpose of a marriage is. They will know. At least theirs, what theirs is.
They will matter what their truth is for their relationship.
They will tell you what it is. That's fine. Okay. And does yucky stuff show up and get in the way of that? Oh, heck yeah. Uh,
Absolutely.
you know, we all know that. Do they do relief foods? Yeah.
You betcha.
Now, finally, what can you do to accomplish a shared purpose? What do you do? And now you have a discussion about what you can do. And and if anything else after that goes into that process. And that's what we call it sorting. When people bring up other stuff, and they'll say, blah, 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 blah. And we'll go, oh,
Yeah.
where does that go?
Where would you put that up here?
Where would you put that? What we're saying to complete sentences, where would you put that in the process?
Yeah.
That's really what we're up to, folks.
Yeah.
We're taking people from the content level of somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose to the
Yeah. Helping them to look at it from this process level.
from a process point of view. And people get it. They get that.
Oh, they pick up on it very quickly.
On it very quickly, right? It's not like it's just that so much of our culture involves people winning and people losing,
Right.
and well, people saying yes and people saying no, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's easy to forget. Well, life's a process, and so that's what this does, and that's what have we done dispute resolution this way? Oh, heck yeah,
Tons
uh,
of them.
absolutely. Now today, one of our colleagues was asking, well, or saying, I need to name it trauma informed dispute resolution, whatever, blah blah blah. And we said, well, then call it that. It is trauma informed. If you want to, when you go to the lower left, say the word, this is where trauma memories would show up. And then you really made it trauma informed. You're acknowledging that if somebody has had trauma in their life, and I dare say most people have had some kind of trauma in their life.
Yeah, I would.
Uh,
Most of the population.
yeah, right. They go, oh yeah, those memories are yucky, right? Yeah, that's the nature of it, right? And so it is trauma informed. Uh, Notice it's also a great way of getting everyone heard. The number one thing, even back in the traditional alternative dispute resolution, was making sure everybody got heard. Well, this you're doing the same thing. You're just introducing the process, but no, and everybody gets heard. Absolutely, everybody gets who's important up on the board. Everybody gets shared purpose on the board. Everybody gets their yucky stuff up, and they're not judged. You know, we just don't. We just put it into the process. We don't judge it. We put it into the process. And that's how you run this. Okay. The rare exception is somebody's doing something, wanting to kill somebody or
Oh
something.
yeah, well, harm is a whole right.
Then you got to stop and do something else.
Right.
But I haven't had that happen yet. But if it did, I would stop.
You would.
Wouldn't do the process. But come on, 99% of the time or more, actually. I've done it way more than 100 times and it hadn't happened. So it's less than 1% of the time that would happen. So no, other than that, just throw it in the process. People get it. They feel heard. And now you've got it. And in the end of this, in case all of you haven't heard, eventually you introduce we call it workability. What works? Meaning you're going to test things, you're going to try stuff out in the upper right. That's where you put it, the upper right. And you're going to try it out, see if it works. And guess what? If it doesn't work, you get to drop it.
That's workability too.
and try something else. Uh, so uh, then you're doing the process. So that's the alternative is that. So step one, don't start with the problem. Don't start with the dispute. Start with who's important. And then do the process,
Yep.
go all the way around,
First loop.
and do the first loop. Then say what's your shared purpose. Do the second loop. Now you've got it going. Now you can talk about the dispute.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
could even disagree about the dispute. That's fine too.
Don't talk about the dispute. Just don't start with it. Don't start there, because now you have this process diagram to put the dispute into. Now you can, our word, sort the dispute into this process.
Places to put things.
And so now it's within the context of how is the dispute, say the dispute, how is it interfering with accomplishing the shared purpose? That's, at the end of the day, that's what you're figuring out. And if you say, well, it's this is how it's doing, and great, that doesn't get you nothing, folks. You got to get upper right. You got to get something new to do. Some new path to follow.
Mm-hmm. A new path to converse, a new way to converse about it.
Right. So, well, I'm going to do more X.
Right.
And that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Now you got the process going, and you're fine. You're fine. I think probably goes back to Phil and I are just chickens nowadays. We won't work unless we got this diagram.
This is our tool. This is the one. Right. This is what we have in our bag when we come in.
Well, that's our Swiss Army knife. We're not going to go out in the woods, or whatever, camping or whatever, without our Swiss Army knife.
We're not going to go out unprepared. Let's put it
right. We're going to be prepared, and we're going to say, there it is, right there. I got my Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call your Swiss Army knife. Doesn't matter. You're going to have it with you, because you don't want to get out there and then go, oh man, I sure wish I had.
Boy, that would have really come in handy right about.
Yeah, that would have come in handy. So we're not going to do that at all. We're going to get this process up, and then we're going to take everything else that gets done and put it in the process. And then it works fine. You'll be amazed at what disputes people.
Yeah.
And you say, well, yeah, Dr. Polk, you probably haven't done it. Well, I'm even in a documentary doing it. It's called A Civil Conversation About Guns. I had fervent gun rights folks on one side of the room and fervent anti-gun people on the other side of the room. And we did it. And you know where I started? I'm sure I started with who's important.
Absolutely. Go and watch it. You'll see.
I started there. And it's science, folks. It's physiology. I'm on purpose triggering other parts of the brain other than the amygdala, on purpose.
Because I guess you're up against physiology, right, Kevin? When you are with those gun-toting and gun-hating people, you're up against their physiology.
Absolutely. Whenever you deal with anyone else, you're up against their physiology. And I guess we humans, because we have language and this thought and this consciousness, we get to thinking we're above all that,
Yeah.
Unless you're
evolved.
Right. Now, when you're 17, you're a little more aware that you're not. You got raging.
You have to act like you are, though. So
you got to act like you are. We got these raging hormones.
Right. What am I supposed to do?
All right. Well, all of that doesn't go away just because you get old and stuff. You still got stuff. It's the Phil, and in particular, the amygdala fight or flight or freeze response is absolutely front and center.
It's there. It's in the
Front
room with you.
and so to go blindly bopping in someplace and go, oh, we're going to talk about the problem. Let's just talk about disputes resolution. Who's got a beef in here? I mean, Phil and I'd be diving out a window.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Start ducking at that point.
We're just gonna be, oh my God, why did you know? You know, like maybe I mean it's like think of it as if you're starting off a date, you know. Well, you're not going to start off a date like that.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
No.
and the way we start these dates is who's important to you.
Yeah.
As far as I know, you might be able to pull it off in a real date. I haven't tried it,
Oh,
but
people love to talk about who's important to them.
but you know that's the basics of basic social chit chat. How's the wife doing? How's the husband doing? How the kids doing? How the grandkids doing? You're talking about who's important to you, and so and people aren't defensive. That's what you're starting with. So think about that, folks. Especially people in disputes, their amygdalas are roaring. They're going. They're ready to go off. So you need to calm those down a little bit first. Then get them, then show them the process. Now you got a process. If you have some other process, please use it. Fine. Just know that I'm going to take this dispute stuff and run it into a process. This one's etched in our brain, so this is the one we use, and it works. And we know a few thousand other people it works for. So go for it. So alternative dispute resolution, it's pretty easy. This is a Swiss Army knife. What are we going to do pretty soon, Phil? The sports matrix.
Yes.
So we're going to do a sports matrix. We got other things that we can lop this onto, but actually, we both get into sports. No, you can't. Oh, you can see one of my tennis rackets up there. Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually used in Major League Baseball and stuff. So yeah, it really is in sports. The matrix is. So we'll show you how it gets used in sports. And I co-wrote an article for mixed martial arts, right? So with sports. So we're going to do the sports matrix. So can you do the alternative dispute resolution? Yeah. And in case any of you are new to this, the horizontal line is nothing but positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement. You probably learned it in high school psychology. Did you learn that in high school psychology, Phil?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things we learned.
That's one of the first things you learn. It's positive and negative reinforcement. Positives on the right.
Like that.
Release on the left. Negative is the removal of an aversive stimulus. So shocking something and you remove the shock, that's wow. Relief. Feels good. Relief feels great. They made Alka-Seltzer had a great jingle, plop, plop, fizz, fizz, oh, water.
Oh, it's an awesome commercial.
So just in case, that just represents that. And we all go through it thousands of times a day. We feel positive reinforcement, we get negative reinforcement thousands of times. We're just bringing people through that process. The senses divine, that's just your process of bringing in 5 senses information at the top that then gets transformed into thinking and feeling and stuff, thoughts in the mind, and that's an ongoing. So those are going all the time. Yeah. They're not static. I'm never trying to say, but you just can't make this thing move all the time.
Gotta figure that out someday. I'll have to come up with something. It's a twirl.
We like to put them on our business cards, and they just don't move. They're stationary. but we fully understand they're a process of rolling. So then how you get people into the process is who's important to you, what's your yucky stuff. And now I'm just walking them into the process. And they love it. They'll say, and if you do this alternative dispute resolution, they will take it and go use it in their own lives. They really will. And we got this, the guy we were talking about this morning, it's Ron, that whatever you do, don't talk about the problem.
Yep. Yep. He
Now,
gets
I'm
credit
sure
for
he
that.
highlights that if somebody brings it up, you sort it into it. But we don't bring it up. He doesn't bring it up because that's our point. We don't bring it up. It's not necessary. Water under the bridge. Where are we going to go from here?
Yeah.
That's what we do. So I wonder if there will be any disputes show up in this holiday season.
Wow. Let's
You
see.
never know. You never know.
Family and friends and getting together with people.
People of different political persuasions.
Oh yeah.
It's always a fun thing.
Strong possibility, I would guess.
That'll show up. There will be disputes. I folks, you can get me in a room with MAGA on one side and tree hugging Democrats on the other side. I'm fine. That's okay. I'll do the process. Amazing things happen when you get people into the process.
Yeah.
Make them human and get them hurt. It's fun. It's a fun thing. I just don't have control of doing it on a larger scale. But I guess we try. We do these crowdcasts and we do it. And all of you are deputized. Go show
Yeah.
this to everybody. Anybody listening to this ever on YouTube or whatever, just take it, go show it to people. You have my permission. It's very, even if you sort of mess it up, it's okay. It works anyway.
That's part of the process too.
Now, if you come to us for training, I didn't even put the link up.
No, we didn't do our little thing at the end.
That's it don't matter. The actmatrixacademy.com. If you come to us for training in this, we'll have you learn a protocol, a script, a specific script.
Walk you through it.
That's just so we can teach you more technical stuff later on. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I told you a little bit with the positive and negative reinforcement stuff. There's more going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we would teach you about that if you want, if you're of a mind to do that kind of stuff. We do this morning, we were in the mastermind. It's 10 o'clock on Fridays, Eastern Standard Time. And you can sign up for that too at the Act Matrix Academy. So, and if you can't find it, shoot us an email, which is on the Act Matrix Academy too. So you get us all there. I mean, you literally type into Google the Act Matrix Academy, and we have been around so long that even AI will put us at the top of that list. They even say strange things about us.
Yeah.
AI is that way. So
Highlighted text.
We'll have to do a crowdcast on AI.
But, it's coming. It's coming.
We'll do.
We were just chatting about that a little bit this morning.
Yeah, we do. We were. Well, I woke up thinking about that at 4:30 this morning. But we'll have more crowdcasts. We always have. But now we will not be back probably till the new year.
Right. This is our last crowdcast.
Yeah. I mean, we usually do these on Thursdays, and that's literally Christmas and New Year's
holidays.
So, well, we will be back probably on Thursday the 8th. We'll do another one. And are we doing de-shitification?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a guy on the internet that has written a book. Part of the title is In Shitification. which is how the internet's gotten all messed up, money laundering. So we want to do de-shitification. How do you get past it? So we'll talk to you then. In the meantime, ask people who's important to them first. Do that first.
Yes.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Yeah, enjoy
Merry
your holidays, whatever holidays you're
Christmas,
celebrating.
da 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 da, all
New
those.
Year. Stay safe.
Be safe. Yes, be safe.